there anything you could say today that could help you win it, or have you consigned yourself to losing to Boris?
Certainly not. And is there anything I can say? There are lots of things I can say. I'm not sure there's anything new I can say, because this is actually my 102nd interview of the whole campaign. So I'm kind of interviewed out. But no, my message to Conservative Party members is, first of all, this is a close race. 2/3 of members chose to wait until the ITV debate and the Andrew Neil interview last week before casting their votes. That suggests that Conservative Party members are taking this very seriously. They're not instantly flocking to Boris, as many people predicted, because this is the first time in history the Conservative Party has actually chosen not just a leader, but also a Prime Minister. And that is a very, very different and, a much more profound decision to take. And I'm saying to people, think with your hearts, think with your heads as well as believe with your hearts, because we all want to deliver Brexit. That's what we promised to do in the referendum result. But if we do this in a headstrong, gung-ho way, we will end up with a general election long before we get to the 31st of October, and no one wants that.
So you say there's not much more you could say, as you say. The 102nd media interview you've done across this period, which has been incredibly intense.
Sorry, it doesn't make you feel special, does it, Ben?
Not at all. If we're the last, then perhaps this is your last chance, as it were.
This is your moment.
This is the moment, Jeremy. I wonder, obviously it's been an intense period for you and for Boris indeed. If you could go back, would you do anything differently?
I don't think so. I haven't obviously done something like this before, and I think what people want to see is who you are, your personality. They want to see you staying true to what you believe, and I certainly believe that I have done that. And
do you think you should have maybe taken some more risks, though? Do you think maybe you should take... Because, of course, Boris Johnson is such a massive character, and everybody knows who he is up and down the country and globally, and perhaps you were fighting against that profile as much as anything else, that if you'd been a little bit more risk-taking, a little bit more edgy, Jeremy, maybe that would have cut through a bit more.
Ben, when I win this competition next week, I don't think you're going to be asking me that kind of question. You're going to be saying, Jeremy, you got it exactly right, because you showed people who you were. You didn't take silly advice to take stupid risks and to do things that weren't true to yourself. And I think what people want is authenticity. And they've seen someone who, yes, has got a lot of experience, having been in the cabinet 9 years, but also someone who's got a lot of ideas for the future. And, I've been teased for talking about the fact that I have a background as an entrepreneur. But this has been my chance to talk about how I want to fire up the economy and help young people do what I did when I was in my 20s, which was set up a great business. And I think that has connected with people in the Conservative Party. And frankly, I've really enjoyed myself as well, and maybe that's also helped my campaign.
If you are Prime Minister next week, I will be thrilled to say those things to you, Jeremy. It would be quite an exciting moment, because I think you would overturn the odds, certainly, in terms of expectation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got to stay confident, haven't you, at this point? But how confident are you really? How much do you believe in it? Would you bet your house on this?
Well, what I said when I got through to the final two was that I was going to turn a coronation into a contest. And I think everyone agrees I've done that. And now I'm saying I'm going to turn a contest into an upset. And all I would say to you doubting people, Ben and Kate, is just look at what's happened in the elections we've had recently. We had the Brexit election, the Trump election, the 2015 shock when David Cameron got a majority, the 2017 shock when Jeremy Corbyn did much better than people expected. We are in an era when unexpected things happen. And Conservative Party members are very thoughtful people. They don't want to lose their Brexit. Above all, they do not want to let Corbyn in by finding that we suddenly rush headlong into an election. And they're thinking about these things. And that's why, in terms of the momentum of this campaign, it's been very much coming to me. We've had a huge amount of switching to my side as people have heard my vision. And, no one really knows, because no one's able to talk to 160,000 Conservative Party members, but we are, quietly confident.
Quietly confident. Three people I'm sure will be very confident and very proud is your children. You've travelled 7,000 miles, I noticed. You've done all these interviews. But your kids, Jack, Anna and Ella, they're 9, 7 and 4. What have they made of this period? Because I'd imagine, of course, you've been up and down the country and you've not been around as much, but clearly they will have seen you on newspapers more than ever before, seen you on television. Have they enjoyed it? Have they marvelled at what's been going on, Jeremy?
Well, luckily, they are a little bit too young to really know what's going on. My son did come to one of the hustings. He's 9 years old. I had my daughter Ellie's birthday party a couple of days ago, and in the middle of it, she sort of snuck up to me and said, "Daddy, are you famous?" Which was a kind of cute moment. But you know, I'm actually pleased, though, that they're really a bit too young to know what's going on.
You're a rock star for them. That's good, isn't it? We've been debating men crying this morning. You were asked about what you thought about men crying. Remember when you last cried? You wouldn't answer. Is that because you can't remember, or because you think it's wrong, or do you think you might cry if you don't win?
Look, I am quite emotional. I have a little bit of Welsh blood in me from my dad's side, and I was asked that question in the hustings, and I did actually tell them a moment when I did have a tear in my eye, and it was actually when my late dad was at my count when I was first elected to Parliament, and we both realised that I'd won, and we caught each other's eyes, and that was my teary moment.
Oh.
An emotional success that was. Well, fingers crossed for you, Jeremy, that there will be emotional success for you next week as well. We admire your optimism because in the face of everything else that's being written and certainly what the bookmakers say, it's going to be a tough ask. But undoubtedly, you have given it your all, like you say. 102 media interviews, over 7,000 miles. You've travelled the country. We do appreciate your time this morning.